It started off as Faisal Bhai's brownies.
Faisal buys brownies.
So Euphoria, the name.
So hey guys, here we are again, and first of all, thank you so much for all the love that you've shown, and we really love it. But today's episode is going to be really special. I asked Akash to help me out with something. I just couldn't get how somebody could make it to this landscape, like be big in this business landscape, right? Like just when he started just from the scratch. So Akash told me that he's got someone really special that he wants me to meet, and he'd be able to help us. He'd be able to tell us of how things go about here. And here we are. Mr. Akash, you're the boss. You take over. Who am I sitting next to? And I see, like, and I've already had a word with him, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation. But before that, I think you've got gifts for us.
Yep, absolutely. Free advertising. Great
Perfect.
platform.
Perfect.
Great platform to have free advertising.
So, here it is.
Do we tell them
The good stuff.
as to what it is all about, or you want to go?
You can tell, be open.
Yeah,
This is all about you here.
Let's have this.
Free advertising. So here's a box of goodies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the team.
Euphoria Bakers.
So here is something. If you are in Hyderabad, you like brownies, then Euphoria is the place to go, right? So what
We're
I was
here with Mr. Faisal
yeah,
from Euphoria Bakers,
right.
and as I really want to dig into this, but not before I know whom I'm talking to.
So
please, sir.
I'll tell you a few things,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people want to ditch their corporate jobs, 9 to 5, and want to start something of their own. But they don't get the guts, to start something.
Yeah.
So he's a live, living example who started from scratch,
Nice.
ditched his corporate job, and this is the outcome.
You ditched the dream. No, that's great.
Yeah, so I don't know, it was, so when it comes to the guts, right, it's just that I don't have anything against the corporates. I think it's a great place to be. The first 12 years, I don't know, that I have 10 years that I was part of the corporates, had a lot of fun, loved what I was doing, but after a certain point, I just didn't think I loved what I was doing. And also, I used to live in Sanikpuri, I used to work in high-tech city, I used to travel up and down for 3 hours a day.
Saturation point.
Yeah, total saturation point. And when you're traveling 3 hours a day, every day, and traffic is going to get worse, right? And you don't like what you're doing. I was working for 16 hours a day. I almost slept at the wheel once and almost crashed the car. And so, that level of hectic, and especially not liking what you were doing, right? And when it dawned upon me that I'm going to have to do this for the next 20 years, right? That's when I was like, dude, I got to get out. And so when you said guts, right? In my case, yes, guts, but I think I'd reached a point wherein I said, you know what, I'm going to sell, I'll sell my property, I'll sell my car, I'll sell whatever I have, I'll put that money together, and then I'll quit my job. 1 saal बैठूंगा, देखूंगा क्या करना है with my life.
But did it happen?
What?
This
Selling the car No, so yeah, I what happened really, how Euphoria started was that everybody in the corporates has this kid of having this additional income, right?
Right.
So 2015, I think September-ish, my wife used to make the brownies, and I didn't know how to make the brownies at that point in time. We started making brownies, we started selling them in these crappy looking plastic dabbas. Okay. Luckily for us, the product in it was not crappy. And
people came back for the taste.
People came back for the taste. We literally, put it on the bike. So we had, I used to put it on the bike, deliver it across the city, because our first platform where we actually started getting a lot of customers was this Facebook group called Foodies in Hyderabad Reloaded.
Wait, how long back was this?
What?
The first
It started in
Euphoria
2015. 2015.
5 years now, 6th year running.
Yeah, 6th year running. It started off as Faisal Bhai's brownies.
Faisal buys brownies.
So Euphoria, the name. The name Euphoria wasn't conceptualized at that point in time. It was everybody. So when I posted that we are doing brownies, we are selling brownies in these dabbas and all, people started ordering from us on foodies in Hyderabad. Reloaded. We got that bump, and we got crazy number of orders on a daily basis.
Word of mouth basis.
Word of mouth, basically. Facebook at that point in time, everybody used to use that to sell something or the other, right? And so calls started coming in. I had a Jupiter. I used to put brownies on that, go deliver brownies across the city. And my wife was in a job. I was in a job. She was on this conference call. I said, "Bhai, orders are rahe." And she says, "No, I'll make brownies after the conference call gets over." I said, "Aise nahi hoga."
It's a business.
It was not a business as yet. It was more like I said, that's
Side
additional income.
Side income.
But I was still in a job.
So what was the moment, when you decided कि अब हो गया बहुत सारा job, let's jump into this for full time?
Yeah. So
Start.
December to December Christmas, there was a Christmas carnival which happened in YWCA, and we baked for 36 hours. Anita and I baked for 36. Rather, she baked for 36 hours. I did the cutting and packing for 36 hours, and then we slept for a couple of hours because our bodies just gave up. We woke up and then we baked more, and then we baked for about 40 hours or 36 hours or whatever, and we baked 40 kgs of brownies.
I'm sure you had fun doing that.
Definitely. And this excitement, because this was 3 months after we had started selling brownies on the side. We finally said, "Chalo, let's do this bake sale." In YWCA, we sold 40 kgs of brownies in about 9 hours, right? And it was.
To somebody who doesn't know, 40 kgs of brownies. That's finding Neverland.
That's a lot.
That's heaven.
Yeah, that's a lot of brownies. So we sold 40 kgs, and that day, when I sold those 40 kgs in 9 hours, that's when I thought, "Bhai, kuch hai.
लोग आएंगे, लोग आ
कुछ
रहे
कर
हैं."
सकते हैं.
It's not easy.
We can make this a business.
Yeah.
So that's when we started. It started off, like I said, it was addressed as Faisal Bhai's Brownies, and we started off with additional income. This whole I'm going to quit my job because of this, and I'm going to make a business out of this never happened till that moment. And I was also in the middle of projects because I was working for a third party. I was working for Cognizant at that point in time. And I was in the middle of projects because I was finding a new project. I was senior manager at that time, not easy to come by a new project. So I had time. Luckily, I was debt free at that point in time. And we had a great product. Any of these three missing from the equation, this wouldn't have happened.
Funny you'd say that. We were just having this conversation today.
That being debt free is very important because if you are behind so much of debt and all, you cannot take a risk.
You can't.
Your risk taking appetite just gets over.
Like you said,
Absolutely.
that is the biggest risk of all,
Right.
not being able to take a risk.
Absolutely. So that's how it started off, and that additional income started happening. I was in the middle of projects. Finally by April, I took those 3 months, 4 months to solid build it up. And finally HR gave me this call saying that, "Bhai, aapke 2 mahine ho gaye." And take a call on, what do you want to do? I said, "Theek hai."
Brownies for life.
They threw me out of the company. I said, "Okay, good to go."
Good that
And,
happened,
so I mean, like Steve Jobs said, right? You connect the dots.
Yeah.
And today when I connect the dots, I was like, I'm happy.
You took that decision.
No, I'm happy that I was living 3 hours away from office. I'm happy I was working 16 hours in a job which I hated. I'm happy about everything that was frustrating me at that point in time. And because if I was cushy, and I was living in high-tech city, and my job was like right next door, 9 घंटे करके बहुत पैसा कमा रहा हूँ. I was taking the holidays that I wanted, and driving the car I wanted and all. Euphoria wouldn't have happened.
Right.
So yeah, and then the name came about because my wife said, "Bhai, Euphoria," because that's what we.
She had that in her mind.
She was very clear about it that it's going to be Euphoria, and because that's what the experience the customer gets when he or she eats.
How exactly? So she was always prepared that this is the name, or something actually led her to come up with that name?
No, I mean, so see, when we started conceptualizing, I was totally into bake brownies, take calls, order likho, jao, deliver, paise aa gaye. So this whole thing of we need a name and we need a box color, we need branding, nothing of that sort actually had crossed my mind at that point in time. And so when we had to finally get out from Faisal Bhai's Brownies to naming ourselves, I asked her what. So she says Euphoria. So I said, "Theek hai, Euphoria." Like there's this famous dialogue by Amitabh Bachchan in that movie. "Muche ho to Nathu Lal jaise ho, warna na ho."
Right.
So company ka naam Euphoria ho, warna na ho types.
But
So
what do you think
Euphoria happened.
is Euphoria's USP? I get that it's your own little baby, yours
Yeah.
and your wife's.
Yeah.
But why do you think people keep coming back to you?
So, see, 16 years of corporates, customer service ka keeda hai. So, the customer service, and it has to be, when I say customer service, I mean talking to customers, getting the customer, keeping the customer satisfied, not only through the product, but generally,
Right.
servicing every customer, speaking to them, going and delivering at any point. I've delivered brownies at 12 o'clock midnight because they wanted a, special, it was a birthday, so they wanted, 12 o'clock Jupiter pe nikal gaya. So, the entire whole piece of customer service,
Got it,
one.
got it.
So, I've spent hours, I mean, the number of hours I've
This
spent
is with
talking to
just
customers.
the two of you operating it.
Yeah, just the two of us. So my house, we didn't entertain, we didn't call over friends for almost about a year because my sofa, my dining
Everything
table,
is filled
everything
with
had
stuff.
brownies cooling under the fan and all that. Yeah. So that is how it actually started.
What was your peak?
Diwali is a crazy time.
Yeah.
Diwali is a crazy time.
Not Christmas?
No, actually, surprisingly, no. So in India, the biggest gifting time
Right.
Diwali.
is Diwali.
Diwali, yeah.
So first 3 years, I think we are on 5 years, right? In the first 3 years, I wouldn't sleep for 10 days. And I'm not using this as a figure of speech. I mean, literally, couple of hours here and there, and I used to just, we used to bake. And by the second year or third, by the second year, we started having a team. And now we have a pretty decent, team, pretty big kitchen and things like that.
How big
available
we are?
all over.
Sorry,
I'm
yeah.
so sorry. Yeah, go for it.
How big we are right now? How many people do we have working for Euphoria, making it Euphoria?
So we have about 9 staff, and some of them are temp as well. So I keep getting temp staff on and off.
Alright.
And but permanent staff there are about 9, and including my managers and things like that. So yeah.
Hands on the people who are involved in making the stuff. It's just your wife.
No. I haven't baked in about a couple of years now.
Oh.
Yeah. I look only into BD right now. So
Alright.
yeah, I don't bake anymore. It's I have a team who does it for us. And of course, when you say what's the USP, right? I still open the studio myself at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm there, I do the premixes, everything happens.
This goes on till what
starts
time at night?
11 o'clock at night. Yeah, so that's a lot of brownies. So I make sure that I am there for the first half of the day looking into bhai kitna inventory, kya hai, kitna jana hai, because we have point of sales across the city and we need to replenish all the point of sales every day and to make sure fresh stock is available
Every day.
every day.
Yeah.
So we have one guy specifically who takes the van, who just goes ahead and replenishes refills and also checks on the stock that was put yesterday, whether it's fresh enough or not and things like that. Do we have thrashed something?
What's your standard, your gold standard? Like, isse kam nahi chalega.
So, a reject batch of brownies which comes out of the oven, which gets thrashed once in a blue moon, but a reject batch would still give you an orgasm.
I was about to say that we'd still lick our fingers.
Yeah, a
for
reject
sure.
batch would still give you an orgasm, but that when we look at that batch, because we know what a batch of brownie should look like, which goes out of our kitchen, we know that nahi bhai, this is not
Ye
good
nahi
enough.
chalega.
Nahi chalega. So I tell my boys, okay, you take it home. Nahi sir, we've eaten food. I said, ठीक है, दोस्तों को दे दे. Nahi, they've also eaten. But we barely have reject batches, honestly. So
Of course.
But okay, so I see this is a very limited space. Like it's not everybody's cup of tea to get into baking.
Yeah.
Right. Have you tried any of your competitors' stuff? Like, if yes,
Interesting
which
question.
$1 question.
which one to you
I'll
is
answer-
a
I'll answer
close
that.
competitor? Yeah.
He'll have definitely done it,
Okay. Yeah.
but he'll not admit it maybe.
Exclusive on this interview. Yeah.
So whenever there's this new place that I get to know about, they start brownies. They've started brownies. They do good brownies. I've tasted them, but I don't go out of my way to kind of taste everybody's brownies across the city, because honestly, there's nothing I can do about it, right?
There's one formula that most of them have. They're all sticking to, because I see a lot of these places. कहीं भी जाओ, एक वो particular taste रहेगा. That signature taste.
Correct. But see, that's the thing. I get so many vendors who come to me saying that, sir, ये chocolate try karo. I said, you know what? even if this chocolate is better than the chocolate that I'm already using, I still can't change it.
Right,
the way
right.
you're preparing it makes
Yeah.
a
It's
lot
not
of
only
difference.
that, you know, customers are used to this taste.
Correct.
They are coming back because of some reason.
When we
Right.
talk about habit.
Right.
Yes.
And you
Right.
cannot take that reason
Correct.
out of it.
So I could change the chocolate for a better chocolate, but I still wouldn't because I have such a big customer base who comes back for this
For that
taste.
particular
Yeah.
So
choice.
I can't, even if I better the taste, I can't change it and better it because that is the taste that
Correct.
people are coming back for, right?
That's the
So,
secret sauce, and I'm sure you cannot even change a vendor, right?
I don't change my vendor.
Of course,
No,
because a lot of things and lot of dynamics will
एक
change.
बार set हो जाता है तो
हाँ.
it's best if
Don't
you
touch
stick
it.
to
उंगली क्यों करनी है?
No, because in fact, I've had vendors coming back to me saying that we will give you 2 rupees off per kg on the same chocolate that you buy from XYZ. And I said, "No, I don't want to. Because that guy, the relation I've built with that guy for the past 5 years,
It takes time.
it takes time. I mean, today the guy gives me crazy amount of credit and we work on a credit system, right? And initially I remember when I started 5 years ago with my Jupiter, I used to go into this lane and I used to, भाई 2000 रुपए है इतना चॉकलेट और शक्कर दे दे. I used to go back home, bake, earn some money, go back. Today I just need to make a phone call. Right, and that is the support that guy
knows
has
his money is good.
extended.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't change a vendor for just a buck or two. There.
Definitely.
Basically.
I have an interesting question for you. I feel this many times, right? At the time of leaving a corporate job and coming to the startup world, I did not feel like okay, there is a kind of fear I'm losing my comfort zone and all.
Yeah.
But when I started,
Yeah.
lot of times I thought, lot of times फटी मेरी,
हाँ.
right? कि सही तो किया है ना यार, क्या अभी आधे रास्ते पहुंच गए हम, अभी तो आगे ही जाना है,
Correct, correct,
right?
correct.
So I'm sure आपको ऐसा feeling हुआ कभी, like did you feel any time कि I have already quit my job, I'm already midway somewhere,
Yeah.
I need to make this big,
Correct.
I need to make this
Absolutely.
happen, right?
नहीं हुआ तो
Absolutely,
Yeah.
bang on. Because see, here's the deal. When I quit my job, like I said, I was Sunday afternoon. I'm not using this as a figure of speech. Sunday afternoon, I used to be depressed. That by Monday morning, 5 baje mujhe, I was a senior manager, used to make the presentation for the client. And 5 baje सुबह में मुझे जाना है ऑफिस. I used to scrub the data पिछले हफ्ते का, make the deck, and then take bamboo. Right, and so I reached a point where भाई नौकरी छोड़ना है. So I was debt free, but I have 2 rents to pay because my parents and my own house. I have a son and school fees है, ये है, वो है.
certain
I
responsibility.
didn't have EMIs, luckily. I kind of, had taken care of all that. But at the end of the day, boss, you need to run your house.
Right.
And when I quit, I got a 2 months payoff from them, and I had about a couple of lakhs because I had raked up really bad debt all my life, and which took me a long time to bring down to debt free. Otherwise, I would have had probably loads of money to take that step. But when I quit, I remember I had about 3 to 4 lakhs in my account. That's about it, and that 3 to 4 lakhs would have lasted me 6 months. So ये 6 महीने, I had just 6 months
Do or
to
die.
make it and make enough money to run the house and.
To do something
to
for
do something
yourself.
that I'll survive. That
Right.
this business will keep me going. Because I not burnt my bridges. In fact, it was a very nice, a very cordial, very good send off. But I not burnt my bridges. But the fact was that, bhai, now we've got into it. Can't go back.
Yeah.
Freedom, tasted freedom. Can't go back now.
Cannot.
So, and
Khoon
that
chak
is,
liya.
khoon
Khoon
chak
chak
liya.
liya.
So that's the reason I think I was even more driven. Because then I knew about was 6 months.
You're
I need to
focused.
kill it. I need to kill it in 6 months, or else there's no turning back.
So yeah, but when it comes to aggregators, right? From my experience, what I've seen is there are instances where इनको पता है कि रेस्टोरेंट बंद हो चुका है, तब भी ऑर्डर लेते हैं. बंदा वहाँ पे वेट कर रहा है, आधा पौना घंटा हो गया, घर पे खाना आएगा, एंड देन आफ्टर दैट वी गेट अ कॉल, सॉरी रेस्टोरेंट तो बंद हो चुका है, आपको रिफंड मिलेगा 7 से 14 दिन बाद. नाउ imagine middle of the night I'm
Yeah.
waiting for my food,
Yeah.
and something like this happens.
Right.
Anybody, probably
Right.
after a long and tiring day.
Right.
This is just one instance, right?
And that is exactly what I was going to say. That's just one instance. How about all the other instances wherein you were sitting in your chaddis watching a movie and you didn't want to
Yeah.
go till the restaurant?
Convenience.
And
I get that. I get it.
so
But
any industry is going to have that one-off case,
Right.
and whether they do it purposely or not, we don't know that.
but
Right.
taking care of it is the big question. Is the big thing.
Yeah, agreed. I mean,
Operationally, you cannot give 100%.
Exactly.
Right? There is always going to be
Six
something.
Sigma जो scene है ना, maybe they're working at a 5.7. I don't know. I'm just saying 5.7, 5.8 or whatever. The point is, and I'm speaking from a merchant's perspective. Because see, from a customer's perspective, I've never. And now you have had a bad experience maybe. I've never had a bad experience. So I chose to be on Zomato Swiggy because at the end of the day, being bootstrapped, I don't want to pump in millions to reach out to customers. And if a Zomato Swiggy at a whatever percentage that commission that I'm giving them is giving me 6 square kilometer radius of reach to customers in that six square kilometers, which is a lot of customers, and I have 11 point of sales as we speak, adding 3 more this week, right?
Congratulations.
So thank you. So 14 point of sales into. Some of them cannibalize into each other. So let's say mota moti 50 to 60 square kilometers of the city. That's a lot. That's a lot of customers.
No
right?
wonder.
So from a merchant's perspective, I think it does great business for me.
Right.
And because like I said, it's an industry which is here to stay, right? Now if you don't like the commissions that as a merchant, if you don't like the commissions that you have to pay them because you think you're not kind of making your money, don't be on Zomato and Swiggy. It's as simple as that. So for example, I was exclusive with Zomato for the first 1 year of business because I'm very, very humbly priced in the market, right? So it leaves me very less room to play around with commissions and overheads and things like that. So for the first 1 year, I could not afford the commission that Swiggy kept quoting.
There are few things here, right? With the setup which Euphoria has, right? It pretty much made sense.
Yeah.
Because there cannot be any other cheaper means of advertising and reaching out to consumers than being on platforms.
Right.
Online aggregators, Swiggy, Zomato platforms, right? It really made sense, right? The only thing where this touch point gets missed, right? He was personally involved here.
Yeah.
So a lot of customers came to him and called and complained and gave him feedback. But a lot of players miss this, right? So the real-time feedback mechanism is something which is very important and crucial.
You can make that change then and there.
Right. Yeah. Because loyal consumer base is something which helps building the brand.
Yeah.
Right. Repeat consumers actually build the brand.
Which was actually there, say, years back. Say, even a decade ago, like people were sticking to their restaurants. आज रात को खाना खाना है, चलो बाहर का खाना खाते हैं, पता है यहाँ का खाने हैं.
See, end of the day thought process ये सोचो ना, right? तो 5, 10, 15, 20 इससे ज़्यादा रेस्टोरेंट जो है ना वो ऐसा फेवरेट नहीं हो सकता, right? For me, per cuisine, I have few restaurants fixed.
Correct.
When I don't want to experiment, I want to enjoy food.
Yeah.
I only go there.
Comfort food मेरे को यहाँ मिलेगा.
Correct.
So ये see lot of this cloud kitchens and lot of these things, lot of ये कूपन ड्राइवर्स के लिए ही है, कूपन कंज्यूमर ड्राइव करने के लिए ही है, राइट?
50% off.
इट्स देयर बिजनेस मॉडल, राइट? एंड उनको वो बिजनेस मॉडल में फायदा है तो वो कर रहे हैं, उनका सेटअप कॉस्ट कम है, दे आर मेकिंग मनी आउट ऑफ इट. राइट. बट ब्रांड्स कैनॉट बी बिल्ड विद दैट थॉट प्रोसेस.
Correct.
There's just a quick money formula, I guess.
God knows. I don't understand that, but yeah.
But getting that connection with your customers.
Yeah.
How did that help you evolve as a brand?
Oh, that helped like big time. So, like I said, I had a Jupiter. I used to, take calls, bake, cut, pack, load it onto the Jupiter. I used to go out. So when I quit my job because I was traveling 3 hours up and down, and doing this for 3 hours, staring into space. When I started
You were
the
literally
business,
waking and baking.
yeah, I used to wake and bake, and wake, bake, and then I used to deliver, and I used to deliver for 5 hours a day. And my wife was like, okay, this doesn't add up. You quit your job because you didn't want to be on the road for 3 hours, now you're on the road for 5 hours. But that 5 hours was because I used to spend 15 minutes with every customer.
Got it.
And, talking to my customer, getting to know them.
Like, I don't run a business when it comes to food or something, but very occasionally when I cook food, right?
Yeah.
और वो appreciation जो मिलता है.
Correct, absolutely.
भले जली हुई रोटी हो.
रोटी तो बना ही नहीं आज तक. चावल के साथ ही करा तो करा.
Absolutely.
But
So,
yeah, that appreciation I feel is gold.
Totally. And there these one or two customers and one or two customer compliments which we have received. The biggest one which we have received ever, okay, was this one lady from Bangalore, and the mehndi that she got on her hand for her marriage. She had a box of Euphoria, and 12 brownies
Wow.
and Euphoria logo. I mean, that's
That's
special.
That is,
That's like a tattoo.
Very special.
Right? That was one. I mean, that was big time, and that keeps us going.
Or
That
one of the
totally
most
keeps us
important
going.
days of her life.
And she chose Euphoria as a mehendi on her palm.
That's
So no, but yeah, so customers.
I have a follow-up question over there. How many times?
how did she get the mehendi off?
Of course, not that question. Okay? How many?
Go a lot of ways from there.
How many times did she order before she had a cult for the brand? Right?
Not too sure, but when we spoke to her, she apparently she was dating. And I can say this because she said it on Insta, right? So yeah, just being careful
so
with
this,
my.
Euphoria was their story.
Yeah, apparently. So she used to ask her then boyfriend or fiance or whatever, to get her a box of brownies. And every time he used to travel to Bangalore, he was from Hyderabad. She used to actually get a box of brownies, and so I guess she was a regular customer of
makes
ours.
sense.
Yeah, but coming back to the question, I have interacted with a lot of customers of mine for the first couple of years because I think the point of sales which started, mushrooming everywhere happened after a couple of years of being in the business because we felt the point of sale model, shop in shop, store in store, worked beautifully for us. And we started tying up with cloud kitchens, we started tying up with cafes. So, and when we obviously started getting more and more orders from Zomato, Swiggy, that's when, of course, the customer connect reduced. But even today, after 5 years, I definitely have customers who call me back and not my customer service manager to place an order. And I never say no.
That is beautiful.
Totally. I mean, and I've told my manager that if anybody calls you on your number and asks for me, give me my number. Give them my number.
Yeah.
And I speak to them. I love speaking to my customers. I absolutely love speaking to my customers.
You know that somebody is finding you, like somebody is coming down to you specially
Yeah.
just to eat the
Totally.
stuff that you make.
Totally.
I can-
So now I can relate to that, वो माँ बहुत खुश होती है जब बेटे को अच्छा.
Oh, yeah. completely.
Totally.
Yeah. Talking about all of this, I see Euphoria has had a great run till now. Touch wood.
That's what.
But where do you see Euphoria going in the next 5 years?
So we've kind of cracked the store-in-store POS point of sale model, and we don't have brick and mortar stores except for the one in Banjara Hills and our main kitchen. We want to do point of sale model. We've kind of figured it out.
Okay.
The quality speaks for itself. We have a great customer base, so it's growing in Hyderabad. We do want to cover a few more places in Hyderabad which we haven't touched as yet. But now I think it's time to go pan India, and few cities that we want to kind of very very specifically
Going
know.
by what I've heard about Euphoria till now, I'm not dying to taste it.
Yeah.
But going by what I've heard, I think you nail it. Delhi, Bombay, I think you're the boss of it.
Hopefully. But you know what? Before Bombay and Delhi, surprisingly, or maybe not, Bangalore is a
Even
market.
Bangalore for that matter.
Bangalore is a
Yeah,
market
yeah.
I want to kind of break into,
Yeah.
and that's a crazy market. Bangalore is a crazy market.
What model are you picking up for Bangalore? How exactly you are going to set up over there?
It's going to be the same thing. I'm going to initially. So, coincidence. I'm going down to Bangalore tomorrow. We were supposed to start Bangalore. Actually, you know what? We were supposed to start Bangalore in March last year. Everything was done. Swiggy, Zomato, tie-ups, सब कुछ हो चुका था. And
Modi ji came on TV.
अबे
नहीं, COVID came on TV.
Modi ji came on TV.
So anyway, and that happened on my birthday, by the way. 8th
22nd,
November.
9th,
8th, no.
अच्छा, उस समय.
8th November, 9th November.
8th November. Anyway.
Okay.
Digressing. back on track. So Bangalore's happening by the end of this month. By the end of Feb. Same model. We're going to start Bangalore. We're going to select partners that we want to kind of hook up with point of sales. I'll name the locations also. I'm excited about these locations. Belandur, Sarjapur, HSR, Indranagar, Jayanagar, JP Nagar, Koramangala,
BTM layout.
BTM. So Bangalore is next. We have a small little point of sale in Warangal. Because it's low hanging fruit. It's like about 135 kilometers from here. There's a coffee shop which serves our brownies. He takes stock from us on a weekly basis.
How's the
Yeah.
response there?
Where?
Warangal.
It's actually it's a lot of student crowd. So our brownies actually sell a lot over
That
there.
is Manipal.
Yeah, Manipal. So Bangalore, we finally do obviously we're going to have a central kitchen over there as well, and then tap markets like
Around
Chennai,
the place.
Manipal, and all
Got it.
from that kitchen,
Got it.
Right.
and then eventually I plan to have a team which will start, opening up new markets for me, like a Pune. See, Bombay, when you said Bombay, I'm not too sure because Bombay is it's a food haven in itself, right? And there's so many players over there.
Everybody's in the
Overcrowded.
rackets.
There are so many players in the brownie space as well. So there's so many players over there that I think Bangalore will be a great market. Pune, Delhi, Chandigarh, Chennai. So definitely pan India. Next 2-3 years is just pan India. I mean, it's spread all over the place.
So yeah, this was perfect. Like I have to say this, one of the best evenings in Hyderabad till now, hands down. Like this was
Not
great.
yet.
Not
We're
yet.
yet to eat this.
Oh yes! Please. I'm
Unbox,
sorry, folks.
unbox.
I'm sorry, folks. Yes, sir. Please. You're the boss. You
No,
got
no,
take us through.
it's your box.
I cannot wait.
So I have 2 flavors. One is the classic and one is the walnut.
Which one is the classic? Which one is the one?
Take it around and let you know.
This is the first one.
So look at on the side. Side pe there should be walnuts on the side.
It's not there.
This is the brownie.
This one will
This
be
one will be
walnut.
walnut.
This one has walnut.
Like, please.
I'll open one. You open one.
Personal favorite walnut. I've grown up with nuts in my chocolate, so
Same. Ditto.
totally.
Nuts any day. And आंध्रा फूल थोड़ा खाने के टाइम क्रंच चाहिए ही होता है. He's making us work for it.
Yeah, totally. So burn some calories before you put them in, no?
अरे, calories are not going to count now. I just hope I don't crush it. Oh, I'm there almost.
पेट में जाने के बाद तो वही अभी
Crunchy होने वाला है.
क्रशी होने वाला है.
It is heaven.
You have to do it very carefully. With all the respect.
How did you come up with secret recipe?
Oh, a lot of trial and error. Of different cocoa, different chocolate, different amounts of each, and sugar.
Man, when you have a
Basically,
Oh.
no thank you.
Acha, talking about girlfriends and marriage.
Okay.
Kitchen mein who has the final word?
Me, totally.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
We have that on camera. We have that on camera. We
So
will
no,
definitely
actually,
put
on a
it.
serious note, when it started off, it was totally my wife's recipe. But when I took the business over, because like I said, she was on a conference call and said, "Bhai,
Correct.
brownies banao." I said, "Nahi, baad mein." I was like, so I said, "Okay, teach me how to make it." So when I started learning how to make the brownies, that's when I went out in the market. And when I went out of the market, I found, yeah, this chocolate tastes better than this, and then this combination of this chocolate with this cocoa tastes better, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. That's how the recipe
iterations.
evolved.
Yeah.
And
I had a food show.
you had a food stroke.
I had a food show.
Okay. you had a food stroke.
Close. Very close. This is beautiful.
He's doing self-marketing by the way.
No, with this I do the marketing for you. Side income. No, but this is beautiful. Like I describe food if I like it. I don't describe it as tasty. Beautiful is the word.
Orgasmic.
Orgasmic. Beautiful. Beautiful फिर भी बच्चों के सामने बोल सकता हूँ. Orgasmic शायद ना बोल पाऊँ.
वो थोड़ा
I'm being
censor
बोल दो
Censor
यार.
करो.
आजकल के बच्चे तुम्हें सिखाएंगे भाई.
Very true.
अच्छा.
I love it. हम लोग खाते रहेंगे.
Stuff your face.
मजा आता रहेगा. Thank you आकाश. Thank you Akash. Thank you Faisal.
You're
This
most
was
welcome. Thank you.
Just beautiful.
Thank you.
I hope I get to see you again.
Sure.
Totally.
We go
Totally.
to this bakery
Anytime.
Totally.
Free brownies.
Even my wife pays retail.
soon. Good. That's the best business.
Totally. No discounts. We burn our hands at 4 in the morning.
Oh.
So in ovens which run at 180 degrees centigrade. So
Wake
no discounts.
and bake. That's the best
Totally.
way. Thank you so
Totally.
much. Thank you so
Sure.
much.
Thank you
Great
guys.
meeting
Thank you for having us over.